So now let's look at 5 very important topics for BITSAT maths. Now these are the kind of topics which you might have missed. I'm not saying that you would have. Some of the students will cover this topic, but these are the simpler topics. I'm not going to cover the commonly known topics such as mechanics, electromagnetism, those kind of topics, current, resistors, capacitor, those things I'm sure you would have covered. What I'm trying to say is that don't miss these topics when you are doing your preparation for BITSAT, because commonly questions are asked from these topics, and at the same time the questions which are asked are so very simple, they are so they become very scoring and less time consuming. So the first topic is the complex algebra. So complex algebra is basically, there are two aspects to it. One is the Argon diagram which happens in the Cartesian plane, and the second one is the polar representation. Both of those representations are important. Questions on complex numbers, the iota, the cube roots of unity, the complex cube roots of unity, those things are commonly asked, and again they are very simple and scoring. The next question which is asked, see, one of the things you should remember about BITSAT is that it is very visual. So the questions typically are asked on graphs. Those kind of questions are very commonly asked. So one of the same questions in the same line, the visual kind of questions, is that you would be given a function and you might be asked that what are the maxima, what is the minima. Okay, then you will have to look at the function, find its derivative, look at the limits, look at the continuity, where the function is not really continuous, where does it have poles and zeros, those kind of things. Okay, so such questions are commonly asked, right? It is not a question directly on derivatives, but the application of derivatives, limits and continuity, and specifically the visual representation of functions. Okay, so those things become very important specifically for BITSAT. Now the favorite question for BITSAT is the questions on the differential equations and the related aspect, the implicit differentiation. Okay, again, if you know implicit differentiation, it is a very simple trick. It is a very simple thing. It is much simpler than doing the explicit representation. In fact, on our classes on Doorstep Tutor, we have always encouraged students to use the implicit differentiation if they can. Okay, not try to separate the variables, because it takes time. It adds complexity. Why do that? Okay, so if you have been taking classes, my classes on Doorstep Tutor, you would already have seen equations like these. And of course, from here it's very simple to go to the differential equations. Once you are doing the implicit differentiation, then differential equations come naturally to you. And the questions like this are again common in BITSAT. They are not difficult. Then integration questions, definite integral questions, those are to be expected. They will definitely come. But the thing here is that the trick here is that they typically ask the trigonometric functions. How do you integrate the trigonometric functions? So here you need to know the basic integral formulas for trigonometric functions. At the same time, you need to understand how to express the trigonometric functions in terms of E, right? So there is a corresponding representation in complex numbers. Trigonometric functions have corresponding representation, e raised to power. Okay, so those things have to be very clear, because those applications, if you apply those tricks that we have discussed in our lectures on Doorstep Tutor, those tricks, then these questions become very simple. Okay, so again, very scoring topic. Now in terms of coordinate geometry, you would have already covered all the parabola, hyperbola, those things typically students cover. Circle is very important. Okay, but the questions, again, going back to the visual aspect of BITSAT, ellipse and circle and the relation between the two. Okay, so this is a common diagram that everyone should know, like how to have two circles and make an ellipse out of it. So this is what this is saying. The major axis and minor axis are the actually the radii of the two circles. Okay, so we have done this on this channel, but this every student should know this particular diagram. You should be familiar with this. I know that, but the thing here is, if you can apply this diagram and solve questions, then the things in BITSAT and JEE Advanced also will become very easy for you. Some of the questions might just, ellipse question might just come naturally to you, whereas other students might find them a little difficult. So hopefully you have covered these topics. If not, then just go through them very quickly, revise all the formulas, and perhaps on the internet, or go on to doorsteptutor.com, look at some of the lectures there and some of the problems there. Okay, and of course, if you have questions, put them in the comment section below. If you have suggestions also, if you want to suggest some topic, definitely put them there, and it will help us and also the other students. Okay, thank you very much.